What's up everybody, it's Xenoblade. Breath of the Wild 2 has been delayed unfortunately to spring of 2023. However, that date is still tentative, so don't get too excited. Now, the original date of sometime in 2022 was also a tentative date that many of us were excited for, as 2022 Nintendo has absolutely packed with tons of games. Now, this may have actually been intentional in case that Breath of the Wild 2 got delayed, that they still had more games to release that year. And there's a lot of different reasons I think that Breath of the Wild 2 may have been delayed. The first one being the most obvious, that they may have just simply needed more time to develop and work on the game. It looks like there's a lot of new mechanics in this game that may be important enough to take some extra time to code to make sure that something can't be exploited, or there's not some weird bug where you get permanently stuck in like one of the islands. That's one of the things we saw in the trailer, was Link physically kind of rise out of an island, and say there's some kind of glitch and you get stuck in there, that could really ruin your day. And so I imagine they're just trying to make sure that everything is as clean and as polished as possible. Also, just one little quick thing I do want to talk about in the trailer is check out Link's arm. If you take a look at the shot where Link is holding the broken Master Sword, he has this kind of Sheikah looking, like, Guardian-esque arm that almost looks like a prosthetic, or maybe he's been like infected by something. And if you look at the shot from the original announcement trailer from E3 of 2019, the arm that is holding down Ganon is pretty much identical. There's even a little circle here, and if we look at the launch update trailer, we can see the little circle like lighting up. So I just want your comments in this comment section down below if you think that's the same arm. Now, another reason I think this game could have been delayed, as Breath of the Wild is developed by Monolith Soft, which Monolith Soft also develops my favorite game series, as everybody knows on this channel, Xenoblade, and Xenoblade 3 is launching this year in September. And Xenoblade is a big game, and it has tons of mechanics and crazy things for the developers to work on. And so I imagine they're trying to make that game as good as it can possibly be, as it has a lot of hype to live up to from Xenoblade DE and Xenoblade 2 both being on the Switch. With the addition of Xenoblade 3 being on the Switch, we will now have all three Xenoblade games on the Switch, excluding X. Hopefully X gets ported at some point. But what that means is that Monolith is going to have to put a lot of time and a lot of effort into Xenoblade 3, which means that less time is going to be put into Xenoblade 2 while Xenoblade 3 is being in development. And so that could have been another reason that it was delayed, as they just needed more time to finish out Xenoblade 3. That way they can say, okay, now we can focus on Breath of the Wild sequel. It could also be that Nintendo just has too many games to juggle this year with their game lineup that they have this year. And so they just needed a little extra time to work on those games, get everything sorted out, and then do Breath of the Wild. And I keep saying that they needed more time, because that's just really what it ultimately is it takes time to develop good video games. Your best bet is assuming that the game is going to be sometime in 2023. I personally don't think it's going to be spring. If it is spring, great, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think the game's probably going to be pushed further back again, just because they want to make sure that this game is flawless. This is a very big release for Nintendo. The Breath of the Wild sequel has a ton of hype to live up to, because the first Breath of the Wild game was Game of the Year in 2017. So when your first game is Game of the Year, its sequel better be damn good, or people are going to be really angry, and it's going to be really hard for Nintendo to keep up their marketing and their PR and sell games on the Switch if their mainline biggest title on the console doesn't sell. Now, the Nintendo Switch nowadays has tons of games on it. When the Switch first released, a lot of people complained that the Switch didn't have enough games on it. And the major titles that everybody had was Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, a Mario Kart. Those were like the three big ones that everyone had on their list and everyone consistently talked about. And now we have, I think it's over 75,000 titles in the eShop. I'll put the correct number somewhere here on screen. And so when you are making the sequel of the biggest game on the Switch, it's got to be a good one. And so no one's mad about this one. This is a pretty quick video because it's just an update, and it's not like they gave us any kind of spicy information about the game play or the story or anything like that. I imagine we'll be getting that sometime either this summer at E3, but that's pretty doubtful as E3, I just remembered, is canceled. I lied. There's going to be no E3 information because E3 is canceled both in person and digitally. I need to make another video about that. I'm going to go make a note. Hold on. Okay, so I made a note about that. So no E3 announcements, so there might be a summer direct, possibly, but I doubt that. I think the most likely time that we're going to see an announcement from Nintendo about this game is probably after the launch of Xenoblade 3. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you didn't enjoy the video, hit the dislike button. If you loved it, hit the sub button. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm going to continue to update you guys on these games. Again, just a quick video today. Also, what do you think of the setup? We got some new little practical lights. We have a new key light here, just kind of better light this shot. And I will be having lots of videos coming out this week, so make sure to stay tuned for those. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.